August 14th. Just got back from a day out. So I gosh, where to start? I've been itching to get out. I want to go to Iceland. I've been itching to go to Iceland. But I know it's not time yet. And if anything, this whole process is teaching me to slow down, UV, right? Slow down, be present, enjoy the moment. Yeah. So, I stayed up last night deciding, like trying to think, what am I going to do today? What am I going to do today? And I've been thinking about antique shops. That used to be the place I would run to whenever I had a moment alone. Aside from working out, I would go to the thrift shop, this antique shop. Before I found out about the one in Pomona, which is like 3 stories, well, 2 stories in the basement. The one I would go to religiously was Treasures and Junk in Ontario. That one was close to home, and I love it's the same expansiveness, just instead of like this, it was like this. And I love that I would get lost there, and I loved going by myself. I loved going by myself because I could get lost, and there was no one rushing me. There was no one who went through the aisles faster than me. Like, I was able to take my time and just relish, you know, in that time period, in the different time periods that I was being exposed to. It always felt good. It always felt good to me. And so I was thinking about that last night. I was like, when was the last time that I actually was in one where I remember that feeling of just loving being lost and you know, discovering like little trinkets or just things, right? And I didn't remember the last time. I think the last time was probably the smallest little antique shop here. And there was a part of me that wanted to get away from the city too. So one of my clients last week mentioned that he was going to Bodega Bay. And he asked me if I'd ever been. I'm like, no, I'm not familiar with it. So he described it, and he talked about like the small fisherman's wharf place, you know, for fish and then he mentioned that I guess that's the city where that Alfred Hitchcock's Birds was filmed. So I was like, ooh, like I really like Alfred Hitchcock, and Birds was one of the movie that I was afraid of when I was younger. And so I got excited. I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. So I looked it up. It's not that far from here. And then I saw where I would have to take the Golden Gate Bridge. And then I realized, it dawned on me, I've been here a year and a few days now. And I have yet to cross the Golden Gate Bridge. I was like, no, I have to go. So I did, and I finally crossed the bridge. It was so wonderful. It was so wonderful to cross the bridge and knowing that it's the first time I'm crossing it. First time, I mean, I've been to San Francisco before, but all the other times I didn't drive across the bridge. This is the first time I get to drive across the bridge. So I was so psyched about that. And I've been wanting to walk across the bridge. I just didn't know how, and just you know, got caught up with everything else. But just to drive was fun because I miss driving. So as I was planning out my day, I actually looked to see, because I saw where it was, and I had been to Sonoma County when I went for my birthday. So I remember seeing some antique shops. So I looked it up. I looked up to see, you know, if there were going to be any open there, and I saw a couple. So I planned out to go there first before I headed to Bodega Bay. And I did, and I found the one place that I want to keep going back to. I didn't finish going through it because that's how big it was. And but I fell in love with it. And I'm like, this is my place. This is where I'm going to come whenever I need to get away from the city. Like, this is where I'm going to come. So it's really cool because I found more of these. I forget what these are called, but I have the machine, the device that you put this through so you could see it in 3D. So there's one on, a couple on Shasta Springs, because I've been wanting to go there. I've been longing. I found one of Rome and St. Peter's Square. And so it reminded me of when I went. So I was like, oh, I want to get... And then the other two are views of Shasta from afar. Mount Shasta. And then my favorite thing is to buy books. And not just any books, but children's books. Specific children's books. The one book that I always look for is Alice in Wonderland. And I already have, I think, 1 or 2 copies. And I like just having, my goal is to have a variety of editions. So I found, I found an edition. And it looks a little bit different. I'd have to look and compare it to mine. The other one that I have, but I was just so excited that I found this one. I don't know what edition it is. It doesn't say the year on it. But I was just so excited. Then I found another edition of it. So I kept looking, and they actually had a lot of other books that I wanted to buy. They had this one on Heidi. Look at how gorgeous that is. Oh my gosh. And then Uncle Tom's Cabin. I've always wanted to read this one. And this one's a 19... what's the date on this? Oh, this one didn't have a date. But I've always wanted to read Uncle Tom's Cabin. Yeah. So I'm grateful that I found it. Just grateful. And then The Wizard of Oz. But what I love about this book is that it has an inscription. And the inscription says, "To my beautiful girl, for all the memories you are creating for me, all my love, Howard." Is that lovely? I love that. I just love that. So yeah, I was just so tickled, and it was just wonderful to get lost. And it felt good. It felt good in there. So I didn't get a chance to stay long because I needed to head to Bodega Bay. Didn't really get out to explore because it was definitely packed, and it's small. I didn't realize it was gonna be so small. And it's one of those places where I'm like, ooh, I need to get here early to find good parking. And I needed to get back by 5 because I had an appointment with an old friend. Met with La Doctora today, and it'd been a while that I connect with her. So I needed to be back. And it's about an hour and 40-minute drive. So I had enough time to just drive around and check out, you know, just what was around there. And I had the craving for fish and chips and seafood. I wanted seafood. And then I was there, I was like, you have seafood at home. You have what you need, excuse me, at home. So I was like, all right, I'll just go home and eat. But it was just such a great day. I came back, crossed the bridge again. I need to pay the toll. But it was just a nice little anniversary trip for me that I've been here for 1 year. And I'm going on my 2nd. And I love it. Like, it took me down a different path to get to the Golden Gate Bridge. I'd never been down that path. And it's nice to keep getting surprised, and I keep getting tickled and keep getting like, I love it here. I'm in love, definitely in love, and I am grateful, really. So I noticed that my dreams, they're not strong anymore. They really aren't strong. And I asked about that this morning in terms of what am I supposed to do next? Because the feeling that I'm getting now is, no, this is it. That I've reached this moment. This moment is it. Now, this transition from this 5D experience and using what these past 2 years have shown me, and now I need to ground it. I need to ground it in, you know, the courses that I'm putting together, and the work that I'm doing, and the volunteer stuff, and the courses that I'm taking at school, but the ones that I'm putting together. I finished the first one. It's so much easier than I thought it would be. So I know what next 2 courses to, because I asked about that too. I'm like, I may have a list of courses that I'm you know, I do that. Like, I have all these ideas, but then it's like, what do I focus on? So I asked, and I have the guidance of what 2 I'm going to focus on next. And this awareness. And then I asked about my dreams. Am I going to keep getting heavy dreams, you know, using the entertaining that idea? And the answer was no, that I won't get as often, as intensely, where it'll take up a lot of my time to process. So I was like, okay. And I've been on this really good flow of work where I'm staying balanced. And I know that's my goal right now. I've done this before. Where work was my life, right? I just need to make sure I stay balanced and shift from the 5D experience to the 3D, right? To bring that into alignment for me and what I'm creating for myself. Which, so that was this morning when I'm driving back from Bodega Bay. There's traffic. So I put on, you know, sometimes I like to listen to videos. So guess what MJ's video is called? And I listened to it because I thought it was for me. But once I started listening to the content, I'm like, no, it's not for me. The title caught my attention because of the awareness of what I realized this morning was this element of the 5D, me shifting from the 5D to now more the 3D, like putting things, my work, right? Chipping away at the projects that I have in a balanced way, right? So the topic is called, it's for whoever needs to hear this message, and it's the marriage of the mystical and the practical. So when I was driving back, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. So I clicked on it thinking it was going to have something for me because the message was similar to what the realization I had this morning. But when I listened to it, most of it was not for me. I'm just like, oh, that's so weird. It's really not for me because I don't feel like I'm low vibing it. I don't feel like I'm not worthy of it. I'm aware of the value that it has and how it's impacting my life and my clients' lives. So I know I have something here. It's just I just need to get it grounded, right? And so she talks more about that message at the end of the 15 minutes, which is what I already kind of knew. So it was just funny for me, you know, chuckling by myself in the car. You know, and it's just funny. So anyways, I just wanted to record on that, the update, that I don't think I'll be having as many dreams, because I haven't. If anything, I've been struggling dreaming lately, and sleeping. I'm going to bed early, but I'm lying awake at night. Like I'm definitely having a hard time. Just, I don't know if it's because it's earlier that I'm going to bed. But that's the only thing I've noticed. I don't know if it's just because I'm in the middle of the transition or what, but I just want to record on that. And it was nice to connect with, you know, my doctora and update her on, you know, what's been going on. And, yeah, so time to get back to work. Just wanted to record. All right, bye. Hey you, my name is Yubi and I use she, they pronouns, and you've just finished watching a clip from my video diary entries where I'm documenting my healing journey as I learn how to navigate my spiritual awakening. I have learned that this experience and process is unique to each and every one of us in whatever way we are embracing living our truth. This just happens to be my journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of formal mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself as these experiences unfold, and really inviting you along for the ride. Please know that there is a time gap between when these videos post and my real timeline, and also that these clips build upon each other similar to chapters in a book. So if you find yourself lost or confused, feel free to click on the playlist section or the link below, where you can jump around, check out the other chapters, and or catch up. Also, please know that you're more than welcome to check out my website, www.youbecominghealed.com, where I've gathered all of this information, my background, experience, and education to create online self-paced courses to help you on your healing journey wherever you are. You're also more than welcome to check out my other YouTube channel at You Becoming Healed, where I've entertained a podcast, including clips from these courses so that I can make this content accessible to more and more people. Please click like, subscribe, and share this content so again it reaches more people, with the hopes that other people will resonate and connect with the healing journey and the stories shared so that they don't feel alone in their own process. I thank you in advance. I'm grateful to you, and I wish you well.